Sometimes the exhaustion isn't from doing too much. It's from being the person who never gets to fall apart, the person everyone depends on, the person who always figures it out, the person who can move countries, build a life from scratch, navigate uncertainty, support other people, and still somehow keep showing up. And because you've become so good at carrying things, people assume the weight isn't that heavy. But capability can be misleading. Sometimes the women who appear the strongest are carrying the most. I'm Tori Profit, a licensed therapist and the creator of Soft Landing Circle. And one thing I notice often with Black women navigating relocation, reinvention, and major life transitions is that many have become so accustomed to being the strong one that they no longer notice how much effort it takes to maintain that role. And not because they chose it, because at some point, strength became necessary. You adapt, you learn how to handle things yourself, you become resourceful, reliable, and capable. And eventually, people start trusting you with everything, their problems, their emotions, their uncertainty. What often goes unseen is that while everyone is bringing things to you, very few people are asking what you're carrying. And after a while, something subtle begins to happen. You stop bringing your own needs forward. Not because you don't have any, because you've become identified with being the one who holds everything together. Many women I work with don't tell me they're overwhelmed. That's not usually the word they use. They tell me they're tired. Not sleepy, tired. Flat, disconnected. They haven't laughed in a while. Like they're always managing something, even when nothing is technically wrong. And when we slow down enough to look underneath that exhaustion, we often find something surprising. It isn't always the workload. It's the emotional labor, the responsibility, the self-holding, the pressure of always being okay, the pressure of always having answers, the pressure of always appearing steady. And here's what makes this difficult to recognize. Over time, your nervous system adapts to that role. Responsibility starts to feel normal. Carrying starts to feel normal. Holding everything together starts to feel normal, which means support can start to feel unfamiliar, even when it's exactly what you need. Because your body learned how to survive through self-reliance, not through being supported. And if you're listening right now, just notice your shoulders for a moment. Notice your jaw. Notice your chest. See if there's anywhere you're bracing without realizing it. And if there is, let it soften just a little. Nothing dramatic, just enough to remind yourself that you don't have to hold everything all the time. I think one of the hardest parts of this experience is that people often admire it. They admire your strength, your resilience, your independence, your ability to handle difficult things. But admiration and support are not the same thing. And I think many women learn that far later than they should, because people can admire you and still not realize how alone you are. People can see your competence and completely miss your exhaustion. Sometimes what you've needed wasn't more admiration. It was somewhere to put the weight down, somewhere you didn't have to be the strong one, somewhere you didn't have to keep proving you can handle everything. This is one of the conversations that comes up often inside Soft Landing Circle. Women arrive thinking they need better strategies, better skills, better routines, better systems. But many discover they're exhausted from carrying emotional loads that were never meant to be carried alone. What if support didn't make you less strong? What if receiving didn't make you dependent? What if being supported wasn't the opposite of capability, but a healthier expression of it? Because strength was never supposed to mean carrying everything by yourself. Strength can also look like being honest about what feels heavy. Strength can look like allowing yourself to be seen. Strength can look like letting someone else help. So today, instead of asking yourself what else you need to manage, ask yourself, what am I carrying that was never meant to be carried alone? And you don't have to solve it today, just notice it. Sometimes awareness is where relief begins. If this conversation resonated with you, Soft Landing Circle was created for women navigating exactly these kinds of transitions. Women who are tired of carrying entire lives on their own. Women who want support without losing themselves. You'll find the link in the description below because you are worthy of support and you do not have to carry everything alone.